Karen.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? My goodness, look at that wall behind you.
Yeah, I'm working out of the office today, and I've got this great background behind me.
Oh my God. Is that all wallpaper or was it painted?
This is all wallpaper, yeah. I'm gonna show this to you. Hang on, I'm gonna
Oh
flip
my
the camera
God.
around. So this is like it's a painted mural, but this has been done on wallpaper.
Oh my God.
And there's this great like pink background with all of these swans, and yeah, I love it. I love it in here.
Oh
So
my God.
that's my office at the House of Bohn office. So I like it because it just feels like happy and fresh and fun, and
It's so cute.
everyone looks good in pink.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
very Gucci to me. It
It's
looks
very
very
what?
Gucci.
Oh,
It looks like,
oh,
I
that's
think
cool.
Gucci came out with a wallpaper collection. That totally reminded me of it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. How have you been? How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. I mean, despite this crazy, crazy time that we're living in right now, it kind of feels like Groundhog Day every weekend. Like starting the week off on a Monday morning, it just feels like, oh my God, what did I do all weekend? And it went by so fast.
I know.
And I think we're week 6 that we've been sort of quarantining and social distancing and mostly working from home. Yeah, so it's been a long haul. It feels like already.
It has. It has. I feel like we're just trying to get over the hump now, and things are starting to feel like they're hopefully going to start moving again, but we just can't put a date on it yet. So I feel like every day feels like a Wednesday to me. That's what I keep saying.
Totally.
Yeah, I'm like in the middle of something, but I don't really know what.
But it looks like you've got some good sun like flooding into your
Oh my God,
space
I
right
know.
now.
I'm right in front of my window. There's not a cloud in the sky right now, which has been pretty common lately. So I'm enjoying that. We're taking like morning walks every day, trying to stay sane.
Totally. Yeah. Get outside, get outdoors, get some fresh air.
I know. Well, it's so
It's
nice
weird
to
though,
talk
right?
to you.
Because it's like,
Yeah.
it's nice to talk to you too. It's like every evening, my husband and I kind of look at each other and we're like, okay, I guess we'll take the dog for another walk.
I know.
Because that's all there is to do. It's really, really weird. And I feel like so many of us are just like craving to get together. Like, I would do anything to go to a bar and have a drink with some
Me
friends
too.
right now.
That's been one of my top things lately. That's all
Yeah.
I want. I just want to go out with my friends right now. That's what I keep saying to them.
Yeah.
I miss them so much. I've been FaceTiming a lot, but yeah, I'm definitely ready for some in-person human contact. That's been
Totally.
fun. Well, let's get everything started now. Thank you so much for joining us, Karen.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for
And
having
hello,
me.
everyone. Thank you for tuning into this live stream talk. My name is Claire Butwinick, and I am Gray's assistant editor. With our current situation keeping all of us at home, Gray's hosting dozens of these Instagram live conversations with the international design community as part of our ongoing design show and video symposium, the Virtual Design Expo. And so we're hoping that these talks can build connection among our community and hopefully a momentary escape during this really difficult time. And so with that being said, I'm so excited to introduce Karin Bohn, the founder and creative director of the Vancouver interior design firm House of Bohn and star of the Netflix series Restaurants on the Edge.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I see that there's people from all over the world that are already
this is so exciting.
This is so awesome. Someone from Minnesota, how are you? You love the show. Thank you for watching.
I think that was
someone from London.
So today we're going to talk about Restaurants on the Edge, how you're maintaining connections with the design community, and how we can use this time as an opportunity for creativity and entrepreneurship.
Totally.
Yeah.
So many of my favorite topics, actually. More people. Hello from the UK and Austin, Texas. Hello, hello.
And everyone watching this now, if you would like to join in on our conversation, feel free to ask some questions below in the comment section, or there's a question box, I believe, that you can ask things, or you can use the hashtag Design Must Go On to stay within our conversation as Gray continues to do things like this.
Cool. Yeah.
So the first question.
I'm so happy to be part of it. So thanks for having me.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for being here. I know this has been such a weird time, and I'm so glad that Gray has really stepped up and done this really enormous production, despite the fact that we're all working from home. It's been a really interesting time. So, but yeah, so going on with my questions, the first question I love asking everyone, pretty selfishly, is what are you doing to stay creative these days?
Well, you know, I am with you that even in this slowdown, this is such a time of opportunity, and I feel like sometimes taking a step back is actually can be so good for creativity. You know, we've definitely been affected by the pandemic, just like everybody has. We also have been really lucky that we still have a lot of our projects that are moving forward, and that aren't in the construction stages yet, and that won't be getting there for a while. So the funny thing is, like, I've definitely noticed that working from, and most of my team, like we have a skeleton crew that works at the office, and then most of my team is working remotely. I'm usually in the office today, which is Mondays, and then I'm at home for the rest of the week. And I definitely find that working virtually and being on Zoom calls, and there is a certain amount of efficiency that's been happening. Like, you don't have to worry about your commute. You don't have to worry about rushing to your next meeting. You're not traveling throughout the day. Like, you're kind of in one space. And with that, I have definitely been a lot deeper on the projects that we are working on right now in the creative. And so I've been like back to doing a lot of hand sketching, a lot of like circulating that to my team. We'll kind of go back and forth that way. And having more time to work on the projects that we do have is always really nice, because we get to just be more creative. And always, I think when you're forced to make a change, if you are creative and entrepreneurial, you will adapt, and it can kind of be a little bit exciting too. So just like you said, with what Gray's doing with this virtual symposium and starting a conversation, right? That would maybe not be something that Gray would be doing if the COVID wasn't around, right?
Oh, definitely.
I'm doing a lot more content, and I'm focusing on a lot more home type of stuff, which I wouldn't be doing either if we weren't in this situation. So I think taking a step back is always great for creativity.
Right. And it looks like we had a quick question. It says, are you worried that clients whose projects are not yet in the construction stage want to put a pause on them?
You know, the clients, I mean, the project, we did have a few projects that have been on hold. And that was a very, you know, as soon as all this started happening and as soon as we started shutting down, that was a quick decision. And then the clients who maybe where their projects are a little further out, like whether that's a restaurant project or a multifamily type of project, or even residential, and we're early enough in the design phases, I mean, knock on wood, and I keep saying that, all of those projects are going forward right now. But there's so much unknown. I mean, you just really don't know what the future holds. And so it's kind of like, you know, as the leader of my company and running a team, all you can do is your best and make decisions on a day-to-day basis with the information you have. So that's kind of how we've been moving forward. But I will say, I think that this time has actually brought my team closer.
Yeah, I think so too, oddly enough.
You think so too? Yeah.
I've gotten really close to my coworkers. We're always messaging on, like, I feel like every single platform right now, and trying to figure things out together has been a really interesting experience. Yeah,
totally.
Because most of us are editors. We're not all, you know, so familiar with tech. So this has been a really fun challenge to learn how, you know, to conduct an Instagram live interview and sort of explore this new platform. So, and we're all doing it together. Like, how does this work?
Totally. And you really feel like it really bonds you, right? When you're faced with adversity and you have people around you, and you're kind of going through it together, it does really bring you closer. So,
oh, definitely. Yeah. And that's kind of stemming on one of my next questions. You opened up recently in a YouTube video about, you know, how you're feeling in this and how House of Bohn is doing in all of this. And I felt like it was really admirable and vulnerable that you did that with your audience. I want to know how you felt as far as connectivity between your virtual audience and the design community in this time.
Yeah, well, that's such a great question, and thanks thanks for watching that
Yeah.
episode. Yeah, you know, like when I started my YouTube channel, I mean, I really started it with the purpose of connecting and being as authentic as I possibly could on YouTube. And you know, with the shift that was happening, and it happened so fast,
Mm-hmm.
and I, you know, I think at first I was like, oh, this is okay. This is a hurdle. A couple weeks, we'll get through this, right? And then the longer it kind of went on, the more I was like, whoa, it was sinking in deeper and deeper that this is a big deal globally, and the entire planet is shutting down.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then that's when those sort of the feelings of like a little bit worried and fearful and like uncertain started to kind of creep in. And I just felt like it was such um, a big event and a big topic, because we also have had so many clients and great partnerships where they were just getting their doors open. Like they
Right.
just got through construction, they were just getting their restaurant open, and boom, they had to shut down. And
Yeah.
so my heart just went out to so many of our clients too. And you could just see around you, your entire community reacting to this situation. And so I kind of felt like, you know, I can't just post stuff that's like squeaky and clean and shiny and like life is great. There's
Yeah.
also this other stuff that's bubbling under the surface. And so I wanted to be really just real about that.
Yeah.
So I think it was great. I mean, it keeps me connected, and you're part of the conversation when you're
Totally.
being transparent. And so, yeah, I mean, I definitely feel more connected with my community from doing that. Like, I think if I was only posting good stuff, I think that there's an element where you're not really accessible at that point, right? Or not even
Right.
relatable, because this is really
Mhm.
actually affecting everybody.
Yeah, yeah, and it's such a unique time because I think this is one of the few occasions where a lot of people can relate to what you're going through right now as, you know,
Yeah,
in any situation. I think, and
yeah,
that's what makes this COVID experience so unique, I think, is
yes,
that
totally.
it's affecting every single person in the
It's
world right
affecting
now.
every single person, and
Yep.
like whether it's you know, you've been laid off, or you know someone that's been laid off, or your work hours have been cut back, or a business has closed, or worse, you know someone, or you know of someone who's had a family member that's died because of COVID. I mean, it's just on
Mhm.
so many different levels it's affecting people.
Most definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I really admire that you spoke about that. I thought it was really, really great.
Cool. Yeah. Well, thanks for
Yeah.
watching the episode.
Yeah, of course. I know. I was doing some research for this. I was like, oh, I should watch some of Karen's YouTube videos
Yes.
because I did. I watched them before our IDS panel, and I got really into them
Okay,
for a little bit.
cool.
And I was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, we should do this again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Totally.
was so much fun. I love that conversation. Kind of shifting gears, I want to talk a little bit about Restaurants on Edge, which I'm sure
Yes.
is why a lot of people are watching this. So for those of you who are not familiar with Karen's show,
Yeah.
she went around the world with restaurateur Nick Liberato and chef
Mhm.
Dennis Prescott, redesigning struggling eateries in some of the world's most picturesque locations like Malta, Costa
Mhm.
Rica, and Hong Kong. Can you tell me a little bit more about that experience and maybe some of the behind the scenes that people wouldn't get to see from that
Yeah.
progress on the show?
Yeah. I mean, it was such a wild experience because we were on the road for 7 months filming the show.
Oh my
It
God.
started last January and filmed right until July about. And so I was on the road. Like we would be traveling about 9 or 10 days, and so
Mm-hmm.
and on location, and then we would shoot for about 6 days in there. So we had 2 travel days, a down day, and then we'd be shooting for six. And it
Wow.
was wild because like we would meet the restaurant owners on camera for the first time. So we
Mm-hmm.
had met them before that. I would get to see sort of photos of the restaurant in advance because I had to come up with a design plan, or at least have an idea of what we were going to do going into it. And we would shoot our opening scene. And once that was done, it was like, okay, rip apart the restaurant. And because we
Oh
only
my
had
God.
like maybe 6 days to transform it. And so it was a wild experience, but I have to say, I do think that it's made me a better designer, because I think travel is so important when it comes to design and being influenced by different countries and cultures and historical references. Like all of that really impacts the way that you design. And so getting to go to some of these countries like Malta and being able to do like experience glass blowing with someone who's been doing this for years, or going to Austria and making a cowbell with a blacksmith where that's all he does, and that's what his family has been doing for 300 years. You get really connected to like craftspeople. And so I definitely feel like I brought that element kind of home with me and was really inspired by just all the different craftspeople that I met. And then we had so much fun. I mean, half the time we didn't know like what day it was, what time zone we were in.
Sounds like right now a little bit.
Crazy experience. And I miss like, I mean, right now none of us can travel. We can't go anywhere right now. But I do feel like that show is so relevant because there's been so many restaurant businesses that have shut down. There's so many restaurateurs that are really struggling. And, you know, we really went in there and each restaurant, like, I really so badly wanted to do whatever we could to help set them up for success. And I do feel like interior design is a big part of that.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, it sets the stage for the atmosphere and the experience that you're going to have while you're dining. So I definitely think that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That is so crazy that you did that in 6 days.
6 days. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Every time. And then you'd wrap, and then next day you're out and back in Canada. And then I would be home for maybe 4 or 5 days, just enough time to like do laundry, buy new makeup if I had to, touch base with my team, and then I would be off again. So it was wild. Yeah.
And one of the questions I think was earlier was how are you able to balance House of Bohn with this crazy Netflix experience?
Yeah, well, my team is amazing, I have to say. My team is so good, and like I give so much credit to my team because they really like held down the fort the entire time. I can't speak enough for my team, but for me, like sometimes I would be in another country, we would wrap shooting, and then I would come home, order, or like go back to the hotel, order room service, and then I would be on the phone for like 3 hours, 6 hours sometimes with my team, go to bed, and wake up and do it all over again because we were still juggling. Oh, we were juggling so many projects at that time. I think we must have had close to 20 projects that we were juggling in Vancouver at that time.
That is,
it was wild.
That is so wild.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, now you're going to do it again because you got renewed for another season that's coming out. Was it May 8th? Yeah. Well, can you give us?
So season 2 comes out May 8th. For anybody like worldwide, if you're in Canada, the way the distribution worked is that we've already gotten all the episodes. So everyone would have seen all 13. But yeah, it's great that season 2 is coming out, and then I'm keeping my fingers crossed that after this we'll get renewed for season 3, which would be amazing.
That is amazing. So is season 2? So I'm in America. So did I already get those videos already, or is that coming out on May 8th?
May 8th. Yeah.
Okay, that is so exciting. Do you know what places are you visiting in season 2?
I always like lose track of it because we did it. I'm like, what did they put together for season 1? Let's see. For season 2, there's a couple of Canadian destinations, which is really cool. In season 2, there's Slovenia. I'm pretty sure it's Slovenia. What else is there? Did you see the Hawaii episode?
I think so. No, was that? I don't think Hawaii was in the first season.
No, I don't think it was. So you'll get to see Hawaii.
Oh my god.
Where else? Yeah, there's. I think there's 2 Canadian destinations. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh my god, it's like a blur now. It's a total blur. I'm like, where did we go?
Oh my gosh, that is so insane. So, what is one place that you're dying to visit after it's safe to travel again? Is there any other place that you didn't expect to fall in love with?
Well, oh gosh, the destinations were just, and we lucked out with weather all the time too, except for there's one Canadian episode which we filmed in Northern Ontario. It was the first one episode that we filmed when we were doing this series, and it was minus 40, and I don't know what the conversion would be, but it was like minus 40 Celsius. So I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. If one of you guys know, tell us, because
Yeah,
Claire
someone down
knows what
below.
that
I'm
is.
not.
It
I'm
is
not a weather
so
expert here.
cold. It is so cold. But I would love to just check personally. I would love to check out Morocco.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been, and I would like to go somewhere just completely different, like India or
Yeah,
something. Yeah,
maybe in season 3.
maybe in season 3. Yeah, maybe in season 3.
That's so cool. Well, kind of going back to that YouTube video that we were talking about earlier in our conversation, you had mentioned that you founded House of Bohn during the last recession in
Yeah,
2009.
yeah.
Were there any things, are there any tips that you did to get your business off the ground in a really, kind of unexpected time
Volatile.
to be? Yeah, and like it was kind of a
Yeah,
bold move to start a business back then.
totally. I mean, I definitely feel like, and starting my business in 2009 when there was already a slowdown happening after the financial crisis of 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people that I knew were getting laid off, and I always knew that I wanted to have my own thing, and I was ready to do it. So I just naively chose that time. But like whenever there is sort of adversity or a challenging time, I definitely always think that there's an opportunity. And in that time, it made me have to be really good at sales and marketing,
Mm-hmm.
because if I had an opportunity to get in front of a potential client, I had to sell myself really well, because there was other people who were already established who could do the same thing. And
Right.
so I feel like my sales experience and my marketing experience in those first couple years just got really, really good, because if you weren't good, you weren't going to survive. And
Right.
when I think back on that time, I mean, in some ways, I feel like it was almost a blessing in disguise, because that's a skill that I've been able to take with me for, the last 10. And yeah, and you only learn by doing. And sometimes I think if it's really easy, life is great, this is so easy, we're growing,
Yeah.
then when you are
Mm-hmm.
hit with a challenge or something like this, you actually don't know how to handle it, right?
Right.
You're not prepared for it because it has been so easy. So yes, that's why I firmly believe that there's always opportunity in a challenging time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have any advice for people who want to start their own business or open their own design firm or their own furniture line, in this time?
Well, now, I mean, it's a great time to do it. It's
Mm-hmm.
if you were going to start something now, I definitely think that whole sales piece, like being able to pick up the phone and really connect with people that you want to work with, is so important,
Mm-hmm.
because no one's going to know who you are, right? Like, no one, you
Yeah.
don't have
Right.
visibility, you're not established. So you kind of have to go and be okay with knocking on other people's doors. But everybody's quiet right
Mm-hmm.
now. And it's kind of a good time to do that, because the phone isn't ringing as much. Like, even in my office, like, the phone just isn't ringing that much. So when it does ring, people have more attention to give to you. So it's not a bad.
Great. Awesome. And then are there any other projects or videos or creative endeavors that you're doing right now that you're really excited about?
Well, we do have so many great projects that are still moving forward, which is great. And I think someone was asking if I'm going to do my own furniture. I mean, I always dream of that. On one of the COVID video, actually, that you would have seen, we were able to design these beautiful dining chairs
Mm-hmm.
for clients, and that
Yeah.
process was so fun. I'd love to do more of that. Yeah, there's and content. I really love connecting with my YouTube and Instagram audience online, and I love that we're connecting over design. So
Mm-hmm.
that's something else that I'm really focused on right now, is just making great content for all of you guys.
Definitely. Definitely. And it looks like we have so many comments streaming, and I want to be sure that we answer at least a couple of them. Are there
Yeah.
any that are sticking out to you, Karen?
Um, let's see. They always move so fast.
I know.
Someone was asking if how much bigger am I hoping my team will be? Will we be expanding nationally across Canada? That's a great question. We actually there is 9 on my team, including myself right now. Someone new actually just joined our team today, which is really exciting. A part-time assistant who's going to be helping with content and media, which is great. I'm really excited about that. And then we definitely want to do more work across Canada for sure. Like, I'd love to go to Toronto, but I would also love to go into the States. Like, I'd love to do some work in California. That's actually an easier flight too.
Oh,
it's
seriously?
Yeah, it's like 2 or 2.5 hours to get to Los Angeles, but it's like almost 6 to get to Toronto for us.
Oh my gosh. So, I guess that's actually not that surprising. From Seattle to about New York, it's about 6 hours too. So yeah. Going cross country. So weird. Well, all right. There's so many questions here, I feel like. All right, maybe one more and then we'll wrap up our interview.
Someone's asking, what do I look for in a new hire? It will always depend on the role, but I am always looking for someone who I think would be a great culture fit with our company. Everyone gets along with this, and everyone really is it just has a love and a passion for design. So even if you work on the media team, you still have to kind of have that love and passion for design. And then education and background too. Like, it's really important to me that someone who's joining the team has the skill set and experience that we're looking for. We have a really hard, because we are a small team with 9 people, it's really hard to train because we just don't have a lot of time, and we're not really set up very well for training because we are smaller. So yeah. And a great attitude. A good attitude is always
Totally. Well, we're almost out of time, so I thought we would do Gray's 5 questions lightning round. We ask these 5 questions to everyone who is part of our series. So if you guys want to hear what other designers say about these, you can check out our Instagram TV for those. All right, let's go. What is one thing you do to get out of a creative mind block?
Ooh, to get out of creative mind block. One thing that I'll do is always get outside into nature.
Nice.
Like, I'll go for a hike or something like that.
Yeah, I love doing that too. What did you want to be at age 5?
I want to be a businesswoman. I had always had this vision that I wanted to have my own business. I wanted to do something creative. And when I was 5 years old, I imagined myself going to work and carrying a briefcase.
That's so cute. And it happened.
It happened.
Who is someone that has shaped your life professionally?
Ooh, shape my life professionally. That's a big question. Like, do I have to know them or just a role model?
A role model, yeah.
Could be a role model. This is probably going to sound really weird. But so there's 2 people that I always reference that I loved watching on TV. Bethany Frankel, who a lot of people love her or hate her.
Yeah.
And Rachel Zoe. And I love watching Bethany. Yeah, I love watching Bethany Frankel because she's the one behind, she was doing Real Housewives of New York, which makes her sound terrible. But and then she went on to do some of her own shows, and then she launched her Skinny Girl Margarita and Skinny Girl brand. And I thought watching her business journey was so interesting. And then same with Rachel Zoe. When that was out, I think she did 5 seasons on Bravo. And she is a celebrity stylist, dresses people for the Oscars and stuff. But she started in the first episode she was working out of her garage. And that's where she kept all the dresses and stuff like that. And then you would just see her season after season build her company and build her brand. And now she has the Rachel Zoe line. So I love watching people's entrepreneurial jourey.
That's awesome. I know. I watched Rachel Zoe a lot when I was a kid too. I was like, I want to be that.
Yeah.
What are 3 objects that are on your desk at all times?
on my desk at all times. Okay, I have, well, I'm at the office right now, so this is kind of like a cheater thing. I have this gold, like, palm. It's just a stat. I don't know. I just thought it was really cute and quirky, so that, like, lives on the corner of my desk. I have all my felts and pens, so this never goes anywhere. And then, well, right now, there's usually some sort of fruit that's been sitting on my desk. And if I haven't been in the office for a long time, I'll come back and I'll be like, ooh, I need to throw that out.
Yeah. Is that an old fruit that you need to throw out?
This is a new one. I brought this
Okay. And then last question, what is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Okay, the best piece of advice I've ever received was from one of my cousins who lives in Germany. And he said, don't ever doubt yourself. And that's it.
That's great advice to end this on.
Don't ever doubt yourself. I feel like everybody has, like, you have it within you to accomplish whatever it is that you want. And that self-doubt creeps in all the time. But don't ever doubt yourself. Like, just believe that you can do it and accomplish it, and you will.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, that's a great note to end this conversation on. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and thank you, Karin, for talking to me.
Yeah. Thank you.
So fun. And if you want to tune into the conversation all day, this will be on our Instagram story, and it will permanently live on our IGTV and on Gray's website under the Design Expo tab. And tune in on Wednesday for our next conversation between me and Los Angeles textile designer Hopi Stockman of Block Shop Textiles. And thank you so much, Karin. This was such a great conversation. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Have a great day.
Have a great day.
Bye.